before? Yeah, we got it. Okay, there we go. Now it's back on. It's back on like Donkey Kong, baby. I try not to make my videos too long, because they're harder to upload when they're too long. This time can pass. And I got that in my head, but I'd rather hear that than I better should not say nothing. Because if I mention that name, it's going to come in my brain. And I don't want that in my brain, baby. I don't want that in my brain. I don't want it up in my brain. Let's do a little Charles Manson there. Boy, I love his recordings. I didn't like what he did, but I liked his recordings. He was a nauseous person. But he'd have made a good musician. At least in my book. I bet I start discussing him. He is fringe. You can't get no more fringier than Charles Manson. He is fringe. The only thing else you could get is what Kenyon did with the H guy. The H bomb. I don't want that up in my brain, Jane, jigga jang. I don't want that song back in my brain, Jane, jigga jang. I kill my mama when I start mocking her. She gets all over me. She hates when I do that. Not really mocking him, just copying him. I don't really mock him. Like I said, I like this music. I just hate what he did. That was terrible. Her sister grieved over that for many years. Probably still is. She's still alive. Coming from a family that my mother lost her brother, I know how that feels. And we never did know what happened to him, so. We know he died of a gunshot wound to the head, we just don't know how it happened. But they all told lies. That's part of the inspiration that he died in the flower garden. Plus I mix the conspiracy theories of, you know, the Kurt Cobain conspiracy theories, but it's also partially to my because he died the same way that we don't know how he died, and it was a big conspiracy. We tried to find out. So I mixed the two stories, and I made up a totally fictional story. But a guy who was killed by his wife, but a ghost came back and haunted him. Total fictional story, but that's where my heart was at. Because I was thinking of both those cases. My mother actually got told what happened to him. We had a police investigation reopened, so we was on to clear his name. They put him. Them things tried to say he committed suicide. He didn't commit suicide. Indeed, the coroner didn't even believe that. But one of them told it. One of the 4 or 5, whichever, how many it was. But we never did know what happened to him. But they lied. They lied, he died, and they got by with it. And he told her, the one who shot him, and then he recanted when we had the investigation of I've already played 62 minutes and 42 minutes and no, even a little longer because I was on a little bit before, but I mostly was just setting up the stream. So I still ain't found that R. I don't even see it anymore. Well, take Hider. 5 minutes into this new video. Bam, 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 bam. But you know what? You know what I like about my mother? She's never once supported gun control. Even though her brother turned up dead by a gun that he owned. She's never once supported gun control. Neither do I. Neither does most of her family. I don't know about their other side, but none of us do. Some of them are liberals, so some of them probably did support it. One of her members on her side of the family, she was actually into the elections, and she loved Obama. I'm sure she supported gun control, but we don't. Because sometimes people do get killed with guns, but it's not the gun to blame, it's the idiots. That's who to blame for the guns. When people die of guns, it's the idiot to blame. It's not people's fault. And if it's an accident, it's an accident. Like say, a kid gets it out. Now they shouldn't have access to it. Sometimes kids get things. But it's an accident. An accident is an accident. They don't mean to do it. Accidental fire. See if I can find. I see the R again. I see it. So I'm going right. Is that the casino? I can't tell. I'm getting sleepy, y'all. I'll probably have to get off. I'll probably never make it to the R. Oh God, I'm getting stuck in traffic. But at least we tried tonight. The Adventure of the R. I like that commercial. I was watching the commercial on Facebook tonight. So I decided to actually try it. You know, I waited late for that challenge. I was just doing it the past few days while they was saying this one was coming. Well, I'll get sleepy, just like I did earlier tonight. I was playing earlier and I got sleepy. I was saying on my Rumble channel earlier, and I don't think this would be such a big deal. Twitter is becoming one of my favorite social platforms that are as a mainstream lately. I mean, I usually prefer the non-traditional ones over the traditional ones because they tend to be controlled by Silicon Valley, big tech. But I must say, I don't think it's 100% free speech like people. Like I'm noticing some people gets banned for things, and I don't know what they get banned for. I'd like to see what they get banned for. But I think it's a little better than it was under Elon. Now he seems to have his things he believes in, and he kind of puts his foot down on that. I'm not sure he should do that, but I can't tell him what. It's his business. I can't tell him what to do with it. But I do like the fact that he is a little more open to. But the problem is This is the problem with all things with the Galb. The only thing Galb takes a interest in not allowed on there is pornography. And you know what? Even though I support people's right to have pornography if they want it, I can see his point on that. That's the one thing that Galb don't allow, that I've noticed. Other than that, you can discuss anything you want to on Galb. I've even seen some really bad discussions that, but I don't complain. If I didn't want to see it, I just wouldn't look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because I think people should have a right to speak. And one way to look at things is say, if you don't want to associate with people that say are racist, just imagine when you push them into hiding, you don't know who they are. I know people would deem me racist for some things that I'd probably say or do, but that don't mean I'm a racist. But you know, there are some real racists out here, and when you push them into the hiding, you don't know who they are. They could come out in this world and pretend to be normal just to fit in. You'd never know it. But if they're openly telling you how they think, now you know how they think. That's another way to look at free speech. You know who people are. And then when you get to know them, you know whether you want anything to do with them or not. Like with the case of Marilyn Manson, I didn't like Satan, but I liked his music. So I chose to ignore Satan and just love his music. But I also sometimes thought that maybe he was using Satan to spook people or to get a rise out of people. Because I did that as a kid. So I can see that kind of thought. So that's what I sort of thought. So I just forgot about Satan. And just chose to listen to his music anyway. I'm glad I did, because I liked every one of his albums. I'm glad I ignored Satan. Satan would have robbed me from liking his albums. If I'd have just went like, I'm telling you, the minute I bought them, they were coming in the mail. I'm going to close this. I'm going to get off here. If I don't find that R, I still see it. But I'm kid you not, I ordered the CDs. They were coming. Then I started seeing all these reports about how satanic he was. And my first thought is, well, do I want to listen to this? The minute I got the CDs in the mail, I looked at them and thought, do I want to listen to the CD? I've been hearing all this stuff about him. Screw it, I like that song. I'm going to go ahead and listen to it. I opened it up, poof, loved it. A few weeks later, got Antichrist Superstar. Didn't think nothing about opening it. I went and just opened it. The first two I got, which was Smells Like Children and the other one, Portrait of American Family. Those are the ones that came in the mail, and I actually debated, do I want to return these things? Do I want to burn them? Do I want to listen to all those pushy Christians that are out there? Because I was a young Christian myself back then. 1994, 95, 96. 3-4 years into it. Indeed, it would have been about 3 years, because it wouldn't have been August, it would have been 4 years. And I thought, do I want to let Satan in my house? And I thought, I had the albums, I was sitting there standing, but I liked that song Tourniquet. And I liked Sweet Dreams too, by the way, was the first thing I heard. I liked it. I saw the spooky video, but I don't, like I said, watching horror movies, being an Alice Cooper fan, being a rock and roll fan, I didn't think nothing about spooky because Slayer didn't even scare me. But I was hearing all those satanic stuff, all those reports on the news. Even my own fighter, this come from my own fighter. He had to be our driver back in the past. And we went to see Marilyn Manson. Back when he was the spooky alien. His next album after Antichrist Superstar. He comes to Atlanta. Right when that album come out. And here was my father. Anytime anybody bring up how bad Marilyn Manson was, he'd say, "Don't you tell me how bad he was. I seen him and I was disappointed." This was my father. He was disappointed. He was thinking he was going to see some really satanic dude that brought the devil out and all this other stuff, and he is actually looking forward. My daddy was kind of like that. He liked bad. He wanted to take on big bad people. Like he always told people, before I die, I want to get my hands on a CIA agent. He used to tell that. Because that's the only type of person I haven't ever took on in my life. Well, he was hearing those reports too about Marilyn Manson. And he thought, I'm going to see a really bad dude. I noticed I looked back there one time and I saw him arms back, sleeping like he was a baby in a cradle. Well, I heard him telling my family. He said, I was really disappointed. I just laid back. I was so comfortable with him. I laid back and went to sleep. I was tired. I worked for 2 or 3 days straight. And he said, I slept like a baby. And he did. He did. He slept like a baby. He said, but I thought I was going to see the devil. He said that. And he always defended Marilyn Manson after that. Like anytime anybody would go on about how bad Marilyn Manson was, he defended him. I should have told his father that. I actually seen his father. But you know, you had a short time to talk. I mean, I think he did stay with us a little longer than some other couple that I think he knew. He did stay with us a little bit, but he didn't stay that long. But I should have shared that story with his father. I think his father would have loved that story. Well, my father always defended him after that. He'd tell people when they'd start going on about how bad Marilyn Manson was, he'd say, I thought I was going to see the devil. And I felt so good that I felt so peaceful with him and I went to sleep. He did. He was back there sleeping like a baby. We was at the very top up at the rafters. And he leaned back up there on that wall and he went to sleep. He was actually disappointed. He wanted him to be that bad. He wanted to see him. He wanted to see him be that bad. And here's what he always said. He said, I've seen many of shows. He's seen country shows. And he said he wasn't no different. He was just playing rock and roll music. That was my daddy. Now I think if you'd seen him during Antichrist, he was kind of more rowdier in Antichrist Superstar. I mean, I see the videos. It's like of course he had all those schmucks out there aggravating him. He was kind of fueled and kind of more angrier in Antichrist Superstar. I think if my daddy seen him then, he might have thought he really did see the devil. Who knows? I'm going to have to get out of here. I'm tired. Is that R? I see it. But I'm not nowhere near it. I'm far away from that R. So I'm going to pull off somewhere. We'll try again later. We'll try when I got more energy. I did stay on 56 minutes on Twitch. My daddy he actually just liked taking on bad dudes, so I don't think he was wanting to take on Marilyn Manson. But I think he wanted to actually see. I think he was disappointed because he was hearing how bad he was, and then he wasn't bad. He didn't think he was bad anyway. He just thought he dressed up. Look at the copter. Boy, I wish I could. I shut up. That's bad. That was a bad thought. Okay. Okay, I'll see y'all later. I'm signing off for tonight. I had a good night. I might not make reach the art, but I had some good conversations. I like talking about music. Christmas. I'll be there for long. Got it in my head. Okay, oh, I'm going to a new session. We don't need a new session. We just need to leave. Okay. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all later. And to the Rumble audience, I will be doing streams over on APFNS. Actual game streams at times. So I'm going to do the podcast too. I'm going to do some podcasters there as well. Those podcasters probably won't just be, they probably won't be on the podcast networks when I start that in. They may or may not be. We'll see. But I really liked that. I liked how it looked and sounded. Now, I might not like it if I hear it in the TV. I was hearing it on the phone. So far, I like it. 1:47. I guess it's time for me to get off anyway. So I'll see y'all next time. And I will be posting these videos to my Rumble Play F station. I'm not going to post these on APFNS. You can always find all my uploads from Twitch and all that on a Play FN station. That's a Play FN station at Rumble. But you can also find them on the YouTubes and that too at JCW TV on YouTube. And YouTube when I can get them up. I have trouble getting my videos on YouTube, but I will keep, because I got a loyal audience there. I've got a loyal audience of anywhere from 9 to 50 views, depending on how I share the video. Some videos 30 views, some 50 views. So it just always depends on how well I share it and whether people sees it or not. But I have trouble putting my videos there. But I'm going to try not to quit putting my videos there, even though I have to struggle to get them there, because I have an audience there. I'll see y'all next time. I'll try to put these here if I can get them there.